So I know for a fact almost 100% of people on self-improvement have either been stuck in self-improvement hell or are still currently stuck in self-improvement hell. And sadly, some people will just never escape this vicious cycle of self-improvement. Do you want that to still be you? Fuck no. So let's figure out how we can escape. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you told yourself that you're going to change, you're gonna move on to the next part of your life, you're gonna change for good, but you never actually change? How many times has that happened? Probably a lot, right? One day you're just fed up, you're like, all right, I'm gonna change. Today's gonna be the day I change, new life, blah, 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 blah. And then you just lose all your progress and you restart and you just keep on cycling through this process. So dissatisfied with your current life and your current situation that you're finally driven to make a change. So you start taking some action, you start watching some videos, you're motivated to make a change because your life sucks right now, right? So you start doing some things, you make some surface level progress, you make, some surface level actions to hopefully improve your life. And then that motivation kind of wears off. It starts to get a little bit difficult. And then all that progress you made, you just restart back where you just started from. And the cycle repeats over and over and over and over and over and over. So how do we escape this for good? First, we need to even know why we do this. What is the main problem? And this goes into our identity and self-sabotage. Look, if you can't fix your brain, which is the reason why you're doing this, then you can't fix your life. Sure, you can do all the actions that are supposed to work, but if your brain is fucked, your life is probably gonna be fucked, right? And the reason why you keep on self-sabotaging and you keep on resetting your progress is because you need to fix your brain. This problem of being stuck in self-improvement hell isn't really a problem. It's a symptom of the real problem, which is that you need to fix your brain. First, I want you to understand this concept. So, you have a true identity of who you think you are. What is this? Well, it's not who you pretend to be in public, who you act like around your friends, who you lie to yourself, who you think you are. It's none of that. It's who you genuinely think you are deep down inside, how you genuinely see yourself. An example could be like, I act pretty confident and outgoing with my friends, but deep down inside, I just feel like an insecure piece of shit that isn't really capable of anything. It's who you genuinely think you are, not who you pretend to be in public. And the thing is, you really can't rise above how you see yourself, right? If I genuinely think I'm just a lazy, insecure piece of shit, every time I try to make progress, maybe I'll make a little bit of progress, but every time I'll end up in the same spot to where I really believe I am, which is a lazy, insecure piece of shit. And that's why you probably make some progress, but you keep on falling back to the same point. If I truly think that I'm just lazy and incapable of anything, why would I really put full effort into actions that go against that? If I truly think that I'm just lazy and incapable, right? If I truly think that way, my default actions are going to reflect off of how I see myself. So eventually, after doing all these actions that go against it, I'm probably just going to fall back to the way I see myself and do the actions that align with how I see myself. If I truly believe that I'm lazy, I'm probably not going to go 100% out of my way to not be lazy, right? Because I don't think I'm really capable of doing that. Sure, I can try, but if I genuinely think that I'm just a complete lazy person, I'm probably just more likely to be lazy anyways because I can't really think I can change. And what happens is we see ourselves very low, usually, right? We have this sort of really negative self-image, but we want to improve somewhat, right? So we make this progress, but then eventually we just end up where we're supposed to be, which is how we see ourselves. And when you notice this, you see that you're making some progress, but it feels like there's a bunch of resistance to get to this next point. And eventually you just rubber band back to where you started because this is where you're supposed to be. Once again, you really can't rise above how you see yourself. And if you see yourself very lowly, your default actions are going to be the actions that align with how you truly see yourself. And the opposite is true as well. If I see myself as a pretty intelligent, confident, outgoing person, I'm more likely just to act like that anyways, because it just aligns with how I see myself, right? If I think I'm that kind of person, I'm probably just gonna do the actions that a confident, outgoing person would do anyways, right? I'm not really gonna think about it. I'm just gonna do these actions by default because that kind of person would do those things anyways, right?
The problem is that if you have a very low self-image, but you want to get to the next spot and be a much better version of yourself, you have this negative self-image that has all these beliefs about who you are, kind of where you're supposed to be at, what you're capable of, and how you see yourself as. And often getting to this next point goes completely against all of these beliefs you currently have about yourself and how you see yourself.
So if we can build a better self-image and a better identity and get rid of some of these self-sabotaging things we do, we can start just doing better actions by default without really thinking about it that much. So let me ask you a question. Is it your actions that create your self-image, or is it your self-image that controls your actions? Well, it's both, and it's kind of a cycle, because your actions will build your self-image. If you do more positive actions, you'll think more positively of yourself. If you do more negative actions, you'll think worse of yourself, right? But then the opposite is true as well. If you think worse of yourself, you're probably just going to end up doing worse actions. But if you think better of yourself, you're probably going to do better actions. So what we can do is we can start doing actions that will improve our self-image, and we can also improve our self-image so we can start doing better actions. So the first thing is getting rid of limiting beliefs. These are one of the things that will hold you back and really prevent you from moving on. So right now, there's probably a lot of things that you think are just true about yourself, but they're not really true, right? Maybe you think, oh, I can't get muscular because I've always been skinny. Or, oh, I can't really be disciplined. I'm just a lazy fuck, right? Or I'm just a shy person and I can't really be good with people, right? I can't communicate well. Whatever it is, what are those limiting beliefs that you have, right? And you probably don't even think of them as limiting beliefs. You just think of them as truths about yourself. But really, they're not true, right? It's just a belief you have, and that will control what you actually end up doing. So what are your limiting beliefs that you have? Now, I recommend you just write them down and just question why you even have these beliefs in the first place. This could be through how you were raised. This could be through maybe getting bullied as a kid, through negative experiences. Whatever it is, think of these limiting beliefs that you have that don't help you move forward. Now, how do we unlearn these limiting beliefs? So figure out what those limiting beliefs are, right? Now, whenever that moment comes up where those limiting beliefs start popping up, let's just say it's like talking with friends, right? And you're like, oh, I'm just a loser. Like, I'm just like the stupid guy of the group, or I'm just the insecure guy of the group. Or maybe you're in school and you're just like, I'm stupid. I can't get anything done. Every time that belief comes up, just do the opposite of that belief. You need to basically unlearn these things. So pretty much you need to know exactly what those limiting beliefs are. And then you need to identify when they come up, right? And then you just need to do the opposite of what you usually do when those beliefs come up, right? If your beliefs can affect you negatively, they can also affect you positively. So start just acting against these beliefs every time they pop up in real life.
Right now, there's probably some things you will just not do. There's some things that you just will not go below. Those are your current standards. If you want to make long-term progress and be more productive by default, what you need to do is you need to give yourself a higher set of standards. Now, when you have a higher set of standards and you have a higher set of non-negotiables, you'll be doing more productive things by default because you just will not allow yourself to go below these new standards that are higher up. You're basically giving yourself a higher bare minimum.
If it's somewhat okay for you to stay up super late, to scroll all day, and to not make your bed and to brush your teeth and to have a clean room or something like that, now make that unacceptable. Pretty much you're raising your bare minimum. Now you're gonna have a new set of things, a higher set of things that are just unacceptable for you. So figure out what are the things that you're somewhat okay with yourself doing, what are your bare minimum standards right now, and raise those up a little bit. Okay, so now that we improved our standards, and we also know how to get rid of limiting beliefs, let's start reinforcing our self-image so we can just start doing better actions by default, and so we can start doing better actions that also make our self-image better. So the first thing is just simply delaying gratification, right? When you delay gratification, you'll realize that it's the best act of self-love. Here's why. When you delay the instant gratification right now, and you go through the discomfort right now for the benefit of your future self, right? You an hour from now, you a couple days from now, you a month from now, or a year from now, right? When you see that you'll sacrifice your current comfort for the comfort of your future self, you'll win over self-respect and you'll feel happy about yourself. So we simply just need to start doing this a little bit more. And you can start off small. It could be as simple as, instead of just waking up and not making your bed, you make your bed, right? Now you're winning over a little bit of self-respect, and you're also helping your future self out a little bit. Now, instead of picking up your phone instantly when you wake up, instead, you focus on some important work tasks. And then you'll realize, like, okay, that was actually great. Now I put this burden off for my future self and I got the hard work over with. Start doing small actions that will pretty much just benefit your future self. And every time you do this, you'll win over some more self-respect. And as you do this more, you'll start seeing the benefit more and more of delaying gratification and doing things for your future self. And the best way to start off with this is just through really small things. When you do these things, you're slowly solidifying your self-image. You're slowly building up a better self-image and feeling a little bit better about yourself. So start off with some very small wins and then slowly build them up. The goal right now is just to pretty much get you used to the habit of delaying gratification and benefiting your future self. And as you do this more, you'll see the benefit more and you'll be more willing to delay gratification for bigger things, right? Because right now, if you barely ever delay gratification, it's hard to see the benefit in it because you haven't really seen it yet. So we need to start off with small things where we can see the benefit pretty quickly and then slowly build up to bigger things. So what you gotta start doing is you kind of have to act like you're already at the point that you wanna be at. This doesn't mean to go in front of a mirror and tell yourself, I'm a millionaire, or walk around and you're broke and be like, I'm a millionaire or whatever, right? Like, that's cringe and it doesn't work. But there's no benefit if you're trying to improve your life and you still think you're a loser and you constantly think about how much of a loser you are. That's not gonna do anything for you. Just start acting like you're not a loser anymore. And what will happen is you'll just start doing better habits by default because you just kind of are gaslighting yourself that you're not a loser. I know it sounds weird, but this actually works. So instead of waking up and thinking like, I'm a fucking loser, I'm so lazy, I gotta do all this hard work, blah, 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 that's not gonna benefit you in any way, even if it's true. What you wanna do is just kind of think you're already there, right? Kind of feel like you're already there. Be like, okay, I'm gonna be productive because that's just who I am, right? I'm a productive guy. I'm just gonna do these productive things anyways, right? I'm gonna take the disciplined route because I'm just disciplined. That's who I am. That's what I do. That's just kind of like what I normally do, right? Right now, write down the current characteristics, limiting beliefs, standards that hold you back from becoming the next level version of you. Now, if you haven't already, write down who you want to become, the characteristics you want, more of the person you want to be like. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to start acting like you're already that person. Start doing the things that dream version of you would already do anyways. And start acting like you're already there. You start sort of believing you're already at this point you want to be at, and you start acting like this version of yourself that you want to be. You're just going to do better habits by default. You're going to start doing the habits that this better version of you would do by default anyways. What you need to do is you need to stop doing the things that solidify your current self-image that's negative, right? So you need to stop doing the characteristics, stop doing the actions, stop indulging into the limiting beliefs that keep you at this spot. And you need to basically act against that and also start acting like the person you already want to become. And when you do that, by default, your actions will be better because you're kind of tricking yourself, you're already there. So I hope you implement everything in this video. If you didn't, then this video is probably useless. But if you did, consider checking out my self-improvement community. We go over a lot of fitness, we do live calls, we have a bunch of programs for your fitness, all sorts of stuff. So if you are struggling with self-improvement, consider joining. I hope you have a good day. Bye.